Okay, so let's get into this. We're doing a deep dive today on Shanghai's AI-run urban brain.
That's right. And specifically, the hard questions it raises when this kind of tech gets exported.
Particularly to nations in Africa where Chinese firms are doing a lot of the building. So let's start in Shanghai. What is this urban brain?
Well, think of it less like a computer and more like a real-time digital twin of the city. It pulls in data from everywhere.
From everywhere. You mean like camera feeds?
Camera feeds, utility sensors, even reports that citizens file. It all flows into one integrated system.
And the capabilities you've laid out are, they're genuinely shocking. Talk us through the level of detail it can manage.
It's really about optimizing human behavior.
Hmm.
The system doesn't just watch, it acts. It generates work orders on its own.
Without a person needing to approve it.
Exactly. So, it can spot an illegally parked scooter, see some litter on the street, and automatically dispatch someone to deal with it.
And it goes further than that, right?
Huh.
I was struck by the example of waste sorting.
Oh, yeah. It can generate a ticket because you put your recycling in the wrong bin. It can flag an apartment that's been empty for a while.
What about the tracking of elderly residents?
That's maybe the most striking part. It can monitor an elderly person who lives alone, and if their daily routine changes, if they don't move around as usual, it alerts officials.
Wow. So every tiny behavior becomes a data point. It basically turns the city into an operating system that needs constant, debugging.
That's a good way to put it.
So is this just a local Shanghai project, or is it plugged into something bigger?
Oh, it's definitely plugged in. This local system sits on top of massive national ones,
Uh,
like Skynet.
right. The one that connects hundreds of millions of cameras.
Hundreds of millions, all linked to central databases for near-instant facial recognition. It gives officials a level of control that was really unthinkable a generation ago.
And this is where the global tension really kicks in, because some institutions, like the World Economic Forum, they see this and they admire the efficiency.
They do. They see the promise of clean, optimized, perfectly run cities. But there's a huge but,
A warning.
a huge warning. They stress that you need ironclad privacy rules and accountable governance.
Hmm.
And that's the conflict, right? You have that model versus, say, the EU, which bakes data protection and fundamental rights into its systems from the start.
So we're essentially normalizing a kind of visibility where anonymity just sort of disappears. Every action is legible to the system.
Precisely. And that brings us to the core risk for other nations, especially in Africa, where Chinese firms are building all this
The
infrastructure.
fiber optic cables, the data centers, the safe city platforms.
All of it. So the question becomes, when you buy this equipment, are you just buying technology? Or are you also, maybe implicitly, importing a philosophy of centralized control?
It's not just steel and silicon,
Yeah.
it's a way of governing.
Exactly.
Yep.
And the real danger, which the sources highlight, is inertia. Once these systems are in place, they are incredibly difficult to unwind.
Because the arguments for them are so powerful, right?
Right.
Efficiency, security.
They're easy to sell. Defending the ambiguous, messy space for, individual freedom and privacy. That's a much harder political argument to make once everyone's used to the convenience.
So policymakers need to be asking these questions right at the beginning, before any contracts are signed.
Yes, absolutely. Before the cement dries.
So what are the critical questions they need to be asking?
First, data sovereignty. Who owns and controls the data that's being generated? Where is it physically stored? What laws apply to it?
And what about oversight?
That's crucial. What independent public oversight is there to prevent mission creep? You can't just let these systems quietly get integrated with, say, law enforcement databases without a massive public debate.
It seems like international partners also have a role to play here, tying support for these smart cities to real data protection laws.
And to genuine public consultation. Citizens have to have a voice in how their own cities are going to watch them.
So if we pull it all together, the future of our cities isn't just about sensors and bandwidth. It's really about power. It's about values.
That's the bottom line.
So the final thought we want to leave you with is this choice. Will we just drift into a world where all visibility flows upwards to a central control room, trading our freedom for a little more optimization? Or will we consciously build systems that preserve that crucial space for messy, unpredictable, free human life to just unfold?